Hello, everybody. We are live. It's so good to see you guys after such a long time. Excuse me. I am out of breath. I just ran so I could get down here on time so we can start this live stream and get going. Okay, so let me just take care of a few housekeeping things really quickly and we'll get started. Thank you so much to the people who are already viewing. I'll be with you in just a second. And then we can be about the business of fancy dancing. I just want to pop in here real quick so that I can respond to everybody on all the platforms that we're streaming on currently, which we're streaming on the Lamb Library Facebook page, the Lovely from the Library Facebook page, and the Lamb Library YouTube. So that's where I'm going right now to make sure that I am paying attention to all of y'all. You're probably going to get the most interaction from the Lovely from their Library Facebook page because that's where I'm signed in at. But I'll do my best to make sure that nobody's getting ignored. 1 second. Boom, there we go. And now I just got to come on here and find the, Why does it always do this? I'm sorry, I'm looking for the lamb YouTube on Facebook, and it's showing me all kind of lambs, and it's not the lamb I want to see. We're probably going to have to skip it if I can't find it, and I'm going to give myself a few more minutes. And by a few, I mean like 30 seconds, really. My goodness, why didn't it pull it up? Lamb YouTube. Let me see, Lamb Library YouTube. I just looked it up for a patron, too. They're probably telling me, it's over here, Lovely. Because they're a good patron, and they like to help. YBRARY. Okay, let's see if that pulls it up. Hey, there we go. There we go. It's so weird, because, okay. That's all right. Okay, so we're supposed to be here. I'm on the channel. Okay, y'all. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's okay. We're just gonna, wait. Here, I'm on the channel. Hey, I found me. Y'all. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's okay. We're just gonna, wait. Okay, good. All right, perfect. All right. Thank y'all for y'all's patience. So today, technical difficulties, hey. It's a good thing I can laugh at myself because my goodness. All right, so welcome everybody. I hope that y'all can hear me okay. Let me jump to the comment section. So if you can hear me okay, wave at me in the comments, put a 1. Let me know if my Darth Vader mask is making it hard for you to hear me. I'm not taking it off, but I'll lean into the mic or something like that. All right, so welcome replay viewers, welcome live stream viewers. I'm so happy that all of y'all are here. Happy New Year. Let's jump right into the discussion. Today's book is, it's a virtual screen. Today we're discussing Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Oh, I see what's happening. I have a live screen and that's why it's all kind of weird. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I hope that y'all all had a chance to read this book or listen to it on Hoopla. We have it in print as well as in audio and e-book format on hoopladigital.com. But this book is about Tokyo, time travel, and really, really good coffee. So let me pop over here and I'm going to share the screen and we'll talk a little bit about Home Skillet. And why we Home Skillet, that's the author of the book. That's not that man's name. It's Kawaguchi-san. Excuse me, Kawaguchi-san. He's a little bit older than me, so you got to put that honorific on there. But let's talk about a brief synopsis of the book real quick. Let me see if I'm sharing this screen with y'all. At least that's what I'm trying to do. Yep, here we go. Hey, I did it, y'all. Look, we're in the big time now. So this is just a brief synopsis of why we like the book, It takes place in a cafe in Japan that has really amazing coffee, really excellent butter, and time travel. But what I really wanted to talk about real quick is the author of the book. And actually, this book was a play. It began as a play in Japan. For a Sonic Squirrel is the name of the theater troupe that put it on. So the author's name is Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and he was born in Osaka, Japan in 1971. He's produced, directed, and written for the theatrical group Sonic Snail. As a playwright, his works include Couple, Sunset Song, and Family Time. His play, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, won the grand prize at the Suganami Drama Festival. This is his debut as an author. Before the Coffee Gets Cold has become an international bestseller and has been adapted for the screen in Japan. And if you follow the Lovely from the Library Facebook page, you'll see I put the trailer there. The trailer is really interesting. It diverts a little bit from the book, but that's what a lot of movie trailers do. So that is not unheard of. So let me take this off so I can get back. Okay, now we're back to me. So that's the author, and this is the book. So the book is basically written in 4 acts. And it starts off with, double checking, it starts off with 4 different people who are wanting to time travel. The first story is about the lovers. The second is husband and wife. The third is called the sisters. And the fourth is called mother and child. Now let me get my notes because there's rules to time travel. There's always rules. So people like me can break them. So in the first story, which is called The Lovers, we have Fumiko and Goro. They've broken up because Goro accepted a job in Japan. So he leaves Fumiko with a lot of unanswered questions. So she travels to the past to question him directly and to tell him that she loves him. The second story or act is called Husband and Wife. Kotake, a nurse, goes back in time to visit her husband Fusaki before his Alzheimer erases her from his memory. That was probably my favorite one, my favorite story, I think, out of all of them. The second or the third story is called The Sisters, and it's about 2 sisters, Hirae and Kumi. They're estranged sisters. They're trying to balance their own dreams with their family's expectation. And when tragedy strikes, Hirae travels to the past to make amends. And then the last story is called Mother and Daughter. And it's about Kay, and she's actually one of the proprietors of the cafe. And Kay's a woman in the early stages of pregnancy, and she travels to the future to meet Mickey, the daughter she will never get the chance to know. And so all of these stories are about people who have decided to travel in the time travel. I keep saying in the past, but they do both. They've decided to try time travel for whatever various reasons. And so first off, there are rules. And there has to be rules because otherwise everybody and their mama would be going back in time, trying to change things and mess things up. There are 4 basic rules. As you read the story, you start to realize there's a little bit more than 4 rules, but there are 4 basic rules that everybody has to follow. Okay, so the first rule is the only people you can meet while in the past are those who have visited the cafe. And in the book, we learn that the cafe is out of the way. It's in the basement level of a 3-story building. It's got a quirky little name. It's called Funicula. And y'all know that name. I know you've heard it before. A lot of y'all are thinking, no, I don't know what that is. I don't even speak that language that you're trying to speak, Lovely. But y'all know it's an opera song. Placido Domingo. I'm getting his name mixed up. Placido Domingo sang it. But I'm getting his name mixed up because I remember watching Sesame Street. And you know how they do the Muppets and they have like parodies. Instead of Vincent Twice, the Muppet's name will be Vincent Twice. Well, they did this one with Placido Flamingo. It was a flamingo singing opera, and he was singing about his mama calling him on the telephone because he was so happy. Anyway, So the restaurant is named Funiculi Funicula after that opera song. And the way I'm going to sing it is the way I remember it from Sesame Street because I don't speak Italian. But the flamingo is, it was mama, mama calling me to say, hope you had a very happy day. It picked me up and I no longer felt alone. That is why Flossidole loves his telephone. Anyway, so it was that Italian song. Quirky Little Cafe, out of the way, you really have to look for it. It's not like they're advertising. So that's one of the rules. That's rule number one. The present won't change no matter what you do. The only people you can meet while in the past are those who have visited the cafe in Tokyo. The second rule is there is nothing you can do while in the past that will change the present. Absolutely nothing. The third rule is there is only one seat that allows you to go to the past. While in the past, you can't move from that seat. And also, there's a ghost. There's a lady. We don't know her name. And she sits in that chair. And you have to wait for her to move to go to the bathroom. And she only does it once a day. And so you have to sit and wait. And nobody knows when she's going to go to the bathroom. And if you try to make her move to the bathroom, she'll put a curse on you. So you really just need to leave Miss Mama alone. She's sitting in there drinking her coffee and reading a book. Don't mess with the ghost. You just have to wait and be patient. Okay, and then the fourth and most important rule, I think, is there is a time limit. You must come back to the future before the coffee gets cold. Now y'all know the name of the book. Now you understand what that means. Is you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. Otherwise, you're going to end up like that ghost lady, because we learned in the book she didn't come back before the coffee got cold, and now she a ghost and she got to haunt the cafe. So those are the rules. All right, so let's go to the discussion questions now. Because first of all, have any of y'all ever wanted to time travel? Let me go and check the comments. Let me see. I don't mean to ignore y'all. I'm sorry. So has anybody ever wanted to time travel before? Because I know I have. Let me see what's going on over here on the YouTube. Is we doing okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay, Matthew. Put a 1 in the comments on YouTube. I don't know if it'll let you comment. But so far, so good. I think y'all can hear me. Anywho, let me go on and put this, remember to share the live stream while I'm checking the comments over here. Share the live stream out. And let me go on and do this real quick while I'm giving y'all a chance to think about if you wanted to time travel. I've always wanted to time travel. I'd have to probably go really, really far in the past. Before chattel slavery and the civil rights and all that. I'd probably have to go way back to like Mensa Musa days or something. But yes, I have wanted to time travel. And these rules I think are really, really good, because somebody like me, I would go back and try and change some stuff. That's why these rules was invented for people just like me. Because if I went back in time, child, I would tell everybody business. I would tell Harriet Tubman all the routes to the different slave catchers so she could free more people. I would tell Lincoln to duck. Move, Lincoln, move. Kennedy, get out the way. Don't ride in an open car. Hey, do y'all play Wordle? Did y'all get that Wordle the other day? It was Knoll, Knoll. Anyway, so yes, I would change a lot of things. In fact, I know right now, if there's parallel universes or something, Lovely from an alternate universe is messing up the timeline, because she went back in time and she did everything that I'm telling y'all right here that I would do. So super genius Lovely or evil genius Lovely, depending on how you look at it, is messing up the timeline in a whole nother universe, because I definitely would time travel. I want to go say hi to a dinosaur. I want to go and meet Ida B. Wells. You know, I want to go and travel in space with Neil Armstrong and whatnot. So yes, I would do that. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I got excited because I was like, would y'all time travel? All right, it looks like everything is doing all right. Let me check the comments one more time. I'm going to put this link in the comment section. There. Sign up for the newsletter as well. Sign up for, that was on Lamb's YouTube. Let me see if it'll let me do it on. Well, I don't know. Oh, hey, I did it in all of them. Great. Okay, so that link that I just posted is the link to my newsletter. Sign up to that because every time I send out a new newsletter telling you about the monthly books that we're reading, I send out a PDF packet. So y'all will have all of this, like all the discussion questions and whatnot. So you can have them ahead of time. Also, let me know if you want to come on screen and talk about the book and what was your favorite part or your favorite characters. Let me know in the comment section so that I can send you an invite and you can come and we can chat about the book and you can be on screen with me because you know you want to hang out. Okay, so let's jump into the discussion questions now that I've given you like an overview of the book and what the different stories were about. So I hope y'all can see that okay. All right, so this book was originally a play. Did you notice a playwright's touch in any of the chapters at all? That's the first question. Did you guys notice anything? The one thing that I'm going to say that I noticed is that the chapters were fairly short. It did kind of end. They were very short. That it's only like 6 hours and some change, and I don't know how many pages. You could finish this in about 270 pages. So you could finish this book in an afternoon or something like that if you're a relatively fast reader. So yes, I noticed that the chapters were short, but they were also interconnected as well, just like in a play. Books don't always follow that when there are several different stories being told. But I think that Kawaguchi-san did a very good job of tying everything all up and making it relate. Okay. So let's go on to the next question. Ooh, here's a good one. It's number 1, 2, 3, the fourth question. Which of the rules do you think are fair? Which rule did you find the most maddening? I think we already talked about that a little bit. But child, you can't just hand over the power to time travel to Enio and everybody. There needs to be rules. I really think the one about having had been to the cafe so you could interact. I think that's really important because that's going to cut out a lot of riffraff. First of all, how many people have been to Japan, let alone Tokyo? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I have. I've been fortunate enough to go. But even if you go, now you got to find Cafe Funicula. And it's going to be kind of hard to find because they don't advertise. They're in a random basement. And if you've ever been to Japan, they tend to build up. Everything's vertical. And so you could have like a 6-story building with like 30 or 40 different businesses in it, just depending on how big the business is. Tokyo is it's on an island, but because they have such limited space, they've built vertically. So I think that's probably one of the best rules to keep the riffraff like me out of the cafe and messing up the timeline and stuff. I'm not normally riffraff, but I would definitely do some things that might make you question my ethics if I had the power to time travel. I promise you, excuse me, if I ever meet Doctor Who, I'm stealing the TARDIS. I am stealing the TARDIS. Yes, I am. I'm Harriet Tubman finna have some help because you can fit a whole bunch of people in that TARDIS. They're not going to have to walk to freedom. I'm just going to put them in the TARDIS and we're going to transfer. We're going to be somewhere else and we're going to be free. That's what I would do. I would be a liberation person, kind of like in Star Wars. I'd be a Jedi, but with Harriet Tubman. Okay, so let's get another question. Let's see. Oh, hello. Somebody is, I'm not sure. That looks like it's Russian. That does look like Cyrillic, the Cyrillic alphabet. Hello, person. Glad to see you. On YouTube, I don't know what you're saying, but because I don't read Cyrillic, I just kind of recognize the alphabet. But hello. Happy to have you. Let's go on to the next question. Okay, so how were these people traveling back and forth? The magic, was it found in the cafe? Was it in the coffee? Was it in the staff? Was it in that one seat? What's going on? I don't understand either. All right, so that was the best part was they performed that ritual in each of the stories before they went back in time. And Kotaku came and got the coffee and stirred it and told everybody the rule. And what's his name? Nagata? I think that's his, yeah. Nagata is her husband. Um, and he would, make the butter homemade but never charge for it, and the bread, and have all these rituals, and you had to sit in this seat. So was the magic of time travel because of the ghost in the seat? Was it because of the coffee? That was not like their normal cup of coffee, which was pretty good, but it was kind of bitter. A lot of people talked about how bitter it was. I'm thinking that bitterness from the coffee had to do with the bitterness of regret. A lot of these people who were traveling back in time had some sort of regret, something that they wish they had said or done. And so I'm not sure if that coffee was bitter because it was just black burnt coffee, or if they were tasting the bitterness of their own regrets. I don't know. What else did they say? Was it the staff serving it? I mean, I think it was a combination of all three. I think that it was a combination of the location, the awesome name. Come on, Funicula. Y'all heard me doing my bad rendition of the song based off of something a Muppet sang. So that's an awesome song. First off, the song is magical in and of itself. The location of the cafe, the really special coffee beans that they use. I think it was just a combination. And come on, there's a ghost. There's a ghost. She got to be bringing the magic too. Okay, let's go to another question. Actually, let me check the comments and make sure that we're doing okay. It looks like we're doing all right. Let's see. I'm looking at the YouTube. I see everybody's looking okay over here. Great. I don't see any nope, I don't see any issues here. Let's go on and remember to like the page. Also, if you're having a good time, and I know that you guys are because I bring the party, share the live stream. Let other people know because they want to be fun and hang out with the cool kids too. Like the page. Hang on. There we go. I'm trying to get this. Hang on. I got to use both my hands and I'm not used to. Here we go. Yes, share the live stream so everybody can have a little piece of fun with Lovely. Everybody can have some. Come on, y'all. Let's do it. Okay. So it looks like everybody's okay. Wait a minute. Where'd my banner go? Hang on. Sorry, y'all. There. Share the live stream. All right, let's go back to the questions. All right, can y'all see the questions okay? Let me see what this does up here. Oh, hang on. Let's try this. Yes. Okay, maybe if I got rid of my own self. There we go. Okay. So, we talked about the magic. I'm looking at different questions because we can't go through all of them. We only have an hour. But let's see. Ooh, here's a good one. If given the chance to time travel, is there a year in your life you'd most like to visit or anyone you'd most like to see, either in the past or the future? So I'm going to read that again. If given the chance to time travel, is there a year in your life you'd most like to visit or anyone you'd most like to see, either in the past or the future? Let's see. Let's remove that. Okay. Oh, I don't know. What about y'all? So if you could pick like a year to go back in time in your own life, where would you go? Who would you see? 1 year. If I could go back, I would probably go back to maybe 15-year-old Lovely and tell her to I would go visit myself because I want to change the future. If I didn't hear none of these rules, I'd be like, 15-year-old Lovely, you might want to pay a little bit more attention in Spanish class and actually try to learn this language because it'll help you out a lot sooner. Don't just learn the cuss words, Lovely. Don't just learn the smart alecky sayings because that's what I mainly focused on. And that's why I don't speak Spanish very well to this day. So I would probably go back and tell Lovely to maybe focus on that, maybe put her nose to the grindstone a little bit more. Let me see what y'all would do. What would some of y'all do? Let's see. Well, I don't know. Y'all think about it. Y'all think about what you might do if you had the chance to time travel. And let me know in the comment sections. Replay viewers, I would be really interested And those of you who are watching the replay, let me know. I'll get a little ding when y'all put a comment. And let me know where you would go, who you would visit. Who else would I like to visit? There's so many people. I already told y'all about I'd want to visit Ida B. Wells. She was a journalist who was wrote about anti-lynching and the plight of Black people. So I would want to talk to her. I'd want to hang out with Shirley Chisholm. Who else? Definitely Harriet Tubman. Did y'all know she was a spy? She was a Union spy and she was a nurse. So I'd want to talk to her about the different medicines and things that she used. If she used any herbal remedies, that would be interesting. Who else? I would want to go back and visit my great 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 grandmother. I knew like 9 of my grandparents, but I didn't know a few of them, like the ones that were before my great great. So I'd want to talk to them and see what their lives were like, and discuss our family and what their dreams were for us. That would be kind of cool, I think. Who else? Lots of historical figures and whatnot, but I got to be careful about how far back I go in history. I don't want nobody bothering me. So, anywho, let's move on to the next question. Let me see what's going on over here. Okay, everything's looking great over here. Oh, that's my what you call it. I'm like, what is that? Let's go back to the banner, and we're gonna take that off, and we're gonna put like the page. Okay. Remember to like the page and share the live stream. Okay, so let's go back to the discussion question. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about some of the characters because I really think they made the story. So, did you find any of the characters particularly likable or unlikable? Again, did you find any of the characters particularly likable or unlikable? So in the second story, in the third story, it's the one about the sisters. It's the one about Hirae and Kumi. And Hirae is Kumi's older sister. And her parents run an inn in Japan. And if you've never been to a ryokan or a traditional Japanese hotel, it takes a lot of work. And so what happened is that Hirae ended up taking care of Kumi ever since she was 6 years old. And so, since she had such a lot of responsibility, she, I think, ended up resenting her parents for putting so much on her because Hirae was taking Kumi to class. Since they lived in the rural part of Japan, rural Japanese people were a bit more understanding. They knew who her parents were. They knew that her mom and dad had to work, so they would just let her bring her little kid sister to class. And if Kumi started to cry or fuss, and Hirae would just take her out in the hallway and, do whatever big sisters do, and that was just that. And so I think that when we're discussing which characters were likable or unlikable, I think that Hirae was. I liked her a lot, even though by Japanese standards she's very untraditional. So she sticks out from a lot of Japanese women and how she chooses to dress. The fact that she was cut off from her family and was not fulfilling familial obligations, which is a huge deal in Japan. I don't know if a lot of people know that Japanese is a feudal society. That's what their history was based off of. They had all the shoguns and the feudal lords, and the feudal lords took care of peasants. So that not only were they a feudal society, but they're also a traditional patriarchal society. And so oftentimes you will go into the same business that your parents had. If your mama was an innkeeper, you were an innkeeper. If your daddy is a businessman, you're a businessman. And so to break tradition like that in a country as old as Japan is very, very taboo, even to this day, like in 2022, to this day. A lot of y'all know this. So for those of you who've heard this story before, well, that's too dang bad. You got to hear it again. No, I'm just playing. So I grew up in a Buddhist family. One of my grandmothers, because every chance I get, I'm finna talk about my granny damn. One of my grandmothers, my mom's mom, was half Japanese. So that's why I know about a lot of this Japanese culture, because it's in my DNA, but also growing up Buddhist, the Buddhism that we practice was Japanese. And so we went to temple, the Kaikan, and Japanese people were there. So I know a lot about Japanese culture and history just because I grew up in it. And I'm saying this to let you know that where does Lovely know this? How does she know? Why she sound like an authority? I'm not an authority. I'm just way more familiar with Japanese culture than your average American would be. And even knowing all that, even practicing the religion for my whole life, and living around Japanese people and eating Japanese food and understanding Japanese, way more Japanese than I do Spanish. I'm still not an expert, but I know what I'm talking about. So, anywho, I had to keep looking because I keep wanting to call Hiroe. To break with tradition like that was embarrassing to her family. Um, uh, Very untraditional, just disrespectful. It was disrespectful. That's the word I'm looking for. And rude in their eyes. Come to find out, because at first I was just like, yeah, Hadae, why you being selfish? What's going on? Because hers is like the second to the last story. So I didn't understand why somebody was just being so rude and not talking to her sister or trying to meet with her. Once you hear the story, you get it. She's been this little girl's mom since she was 6, and she never got to live her own dreams. And so I was really upset with Harae because she just seemed quite selfish. Kumi ends up trying to come and see Harai every month. Every month from this country town on the countryside of Japan all the way to Tokyo. On one of her trips, she's going back home. Kumi is, and Kumi dies. And she dies, and she doesn't get to talk to her sister. She left a letter for her sister, and her sister wouldn't read it. And so she ends up reading it, and it does say stuff like, please come back home. We come back home and run the ryokan or the hotel. Come to find out, this whole time, Hirae thought Kumi wanted to run off and have her own life. Hirae thought she was keeping Kumi from her dream. And in a way, she was. It was Kumi's dream because Kumi looked up to her big sister. She followed her around when they were little kids and say, big sister, big sister. Come to find out, Kumi just wanted Hirae to come back so they could run the inn together. Kumi didn't have no big dream outside of the countryside. Kumi's dream was to be the innkeeper with her sister, and that's all she wanted. And once Kumi was dead and gone, Hirae was just like, oh, maybe I should try to answer. She went to the funeral. Her mom and daddy didn't even talk to her. She didn't even sit with the family, y'all. She did not sit with the family at the funeral. And then she just left. And so, thank goodness she knew about Cafe Funicula, so she could go back in time and not be mean to her sister. So, to answer the question, at first I started off not really liking Harae very much. But once I understood her story, she's probably one of my favorites. And the turnaround was really, really good because she realized that she was mistaken and her sister wasn't going to tell her what she thought. And a lot of the stories in this book, almost all of them, there's like a little twist, a little bit, oh, I thought it was going to be one way, but it's really not. So I found that really fascinating too. I also like the magical realism in the book, kind of like the guy who wrote 100 Years of Solitude. I think his name is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I think his last name is Marquez. I can't remember, but the book is 100 Years of Solitude. So it was just like everybody just accepted it. There is yes, you could go back in time, and the providers of the business would just tell you, yes, these are the rules. You have to sit in the chair. That they just accepted it. Nobody questioned it. There was a ghost lady, and if they did question her and try to push her around, Miss Ghost Mama would send them to the ground, make them feel heavy. That was the curse. She would make them feel heavy and sadness, and so then they understood it was real. So anyway, I digress. But she was my favorite character, and that was Hirae from the third story, which was about the sisters. Okay, let's answer one, maybe two more questions. Actually, let me check and make sure that everybody's doing okay. Y'all seem like y'all doing okay. Good. I'm going to remind y'all to share the live stream. If you're having a good time hanging out with me and we're talking about amazing books and everything, please remember to share the live stream. Also, if you are wanting to get ahead of the game and join in with the cool kids and get all this stuff early, look in the comment section on whatever platform you're watching this on. Click that link. It'll sign you up for the newsletter. That way, you're going to get the whole list of all the books we're reading for the year. We do 10 books a year. You'll get them all from now to October. And every month, when I send out the newsletter and the reminder newsletter, you'll get a PDF packet with author interviews. Can y'all see that? Yep, that's the author interview with the discussion question, with reader likes and whatnot. Because I know y'all like this book because y'all was telling me you like this book. So after we answer like one more question, then we're going to go into the reader like. So I've got a whole bunch. Like if you like the specific stories, then we got books for that and movies. And if you like the overall things, we got stuff for that too. So let's answer one more question. Yeah, because it's like 4:30. So let's answer one more question. Then we'll go into some reader likes. And we'll have some announcement because we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up here in February. So let's see. Let's do, boom. Okay, so let's find us another question. Let's see. We already talked about the cafe staff. I'm thinking. Okay, let's do this. I think I kind of already answered this. Discuss the novel's more sentimental and magical realism approach to time travel versus those stories more rooted in science fiction. Did you wish to know more about the technical aspects of time travel through the cafe? Wait. Did you wish to know more about the technical aspects of time travel through the cafe as are often covered in depth in sci-fi stories? Okay, that question was worded weirdly. Granted, I was the one reading it, so maybe I read it weirdly. But the gist of this is more sentimental magic. It's not like, nerdy science magic. I can get down with some nerdy magic, child. I watch Star Trek or since I was a baby. I done told y'all how much my granny them enjoyed science fiction and whatnot. Oh, what's this? It's some more Russian folks. Hi, hey, hello. I don't know what this is. Again, I cannot read Cerulean. I hope y'all are having a good time. I bet y'all speak English because y'all got free education over there. But let me hush, making sense. Anywho, so the magical realism. I'm sorry. Did you want to know more about the technical aspects? No, I did not. I was not interested in understanding because that's part of the magic and the beauty is they don't explain that very well. We don't know if it's the coffee. We don't know if it's the ghost. We don't know if they buried on an ancient burial ground that a witch put a curse on, and that's why you can only. I don't need to know all that to enjoy the story. If I want that kind of scientific technical, this is how we went back in time. I go talk to Ant-Man and we'll go to the quantum universe or something like that. Or, I'll talk to Doctor Who. I can figure that out with them. I think that there is a place for science and scientific realism and whatnot. Those are great. That's a sci-fi book. You can get that. But this is more a bit fantasy. And so since I like both genres, I think they both have a place. And sometimes you don't need an explanation. You can just believe it. You can choose just to believe it. Did you see the ghost? Yes, you did. Do you want to know how she became a ghost and all the wherewithal behind that? No, not really. Because then if she tell you, you might have to trade places with her or something. I don't know. Some things you just don't need to know all the behind the scenes stuff to believe it. I believe they was time traveling, so they were. The end. Okay. What about y'all? How did y'all feel? Do you want to know that kind of stuff? If you were able to finish reading the book, do you want to know how this particular cafe was time traveling? Was it drugs in the coffee? Was it all an elaborate hoax? A big joke that everybody was in on except for you? What do y'all think? Let me know, replay watchers. Let me know in the comment section because I'm curious as to what y'all think too. Let me look at one more question here real quick. Let's see here. Oh, this is one of my favorites. We'll answer this question. Okay, let me pull it up here on the screen. Okay, so let's talk about. Oh, hang on a second, y'all. We're going to remove this, and then I'm going to go in here and remove that so we can see the questions better. There. Boom. Sorry, I was covering them up this whole time. Okay. So, I disappeared. Look, magic. I'm gone. Per the rules, you cannot vastly impact the past or future, and traveling with that goal is prohibited. That said, do you believe a possibility exists that the interactions held during each travel would have influenced those visited in some small, nuanced way? Yes. Yes, I do. That's why they had to have those rules. Yes, I do think that taking foreknowledge to the past could affect things, even teeny things like, if you said hello to somebody and that second that they took to turn their head to say hello, how are you? Stop them from stepping out into the street and they would have got hit by a car and then they wouldn't have never met their partner and then they would have never had that baby that went on to discover cancer, a cure for cancer. Yeah, little bitty things like that. Sure. I think that could add up. Um, and I think that's why they had to have those rules. Again, I definitely answered this because I've been thinking about time travel for a really, really long time. Ever since I was a little baby nerd, I've been thinking about what would happen if you went back in the past and why. So again, the question was, um, do you believe a possibility exists that the interactions held during each travel would have influenced those visited in some small, nuanced way? Well, you can see that it influenced the people who went back in time. Um, what's their name? Gordo, the lovers. Fumiko and Goro. There, he asked her to wait for him, and I'm coming back after I make my money in America, and then we can get married. It affected them, and they weren't even really allowed to do major things. Just knowing that you could go back and deal with some of your regrets, I think, made them feel better. When what's her name? Kotake lied to Fusagi and told him that he was gonna get better and his Alzheimer's was gonna be cured. She was lying to him, and but that's okay because she said it's not gonna change the future anyhow. So let him live in this fantasy that ain't gonna hurt nobody. And in fact, it helped her because it did kind of hurt her feelings that her husband had forgotten her. It did hurt her feelings that he wanted to refer to her as by her maiden name. And this whole time, he could not give her this letter. And when he did, she understood that he knew that he had Alzheimer's and he didn't want to be a burden on her. He wanted her to go and have a life. He told her in that letter, if it's ever a burden, don't let me be your husband. Go and find you some love. Go and find you a new man. I want to be your husband. If I ever forget that I'm your husband, it's time for us to dissolve the marriage. That made her love him more. So I think yes, because in the story, even though these people weren't doing anything that could affect the future, it still did. Katake now, because her husband's still alive, and when Fusagi comes in and he don't remember who she is, she just goes along with it, and they act like they're on a date. And he's like, I don't know who you are. She's like, well, maybe you do. Maybe we could get married. She's able to accept the things she cannot change anymore because she ain't got no regrets about it. That's the beautiful part of this book. And on that note, it's 444. Isn't that an angel number or something like that? What y'all know about them angel numbers? Anyway, it's 444. I think this is a good place to end this book. All right, so if you did not get a chance to read the book, child, what are you waiting on? Go and check it out from Hoopla right now. You got a library card from Pueblo City County District Library, the best library system I've ever had the chance to interact with. And I'm talking as a patron, because I never worked for a library until I got this job here. But as a patron, best library ever. So go and get on Hoopla right now because you can check out the audio version, which is really fun to listen to. I love it. The lady who does the reading is great. They also have an e-book on Hoopla. And we got print copies. Yes, so I'm going to turn this in so y'all can check it out. It's really good. I'm going to try and watch the Japanese screenplay and the movie for that too. Also, for those of you who want to know who that ghost lady is and what happened to her child, look what we got. This is the second part. It's called Tales from the Cafe. That is also available on Hoopla in audio and ebook form, and we have the print copy. I'm finna turn this in so y'all can check it out. In that story, they, like I said, they talk about the ghost lady. Who else? Hold on, y'all. Again, we've got best friend, mother and son, lovers, and married couple. I don't know all these stories because I have not read that book yet. So, but I suggest that you do because I think y'all are gonna like it. And also, if you really did like Before the Coffee Gets Cold, let's wait. We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about this. So these are your recommended next reads. All of these books are available on Hoopla in e-audio and ebook format, and some of these books you can also check out in print form from the library. So for the people who enjoyed the story about Fumiko and Goro, there is a book called 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. It's about lovers. Also, The Second Chance Boutique by Louisa Layman. If you really like the story about Kotake and his wife and Alzheimer's and disappearing from memory, there is Slow Dancing with a Stranger by Merle Comer and The Wide Circumference of Love by Marita Golden. Again, these books are available in audio format as well as ebook format as well. Let's see what else we got. We're going to mention just a couple more. The Sisters, of course. How could anybody forget probably one of the most famous books about sisters, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. What else do we have? Searching for Sylvie Lee by Jean Kwok. I hope I said your name right, Jean. I'm sorry if I did not. And then another book that is available is Homesick by Jennifer Croft. If you like the mother-daughter story, you might want to check out Our Ordinary Light. This one is about a poet who lost her mother before she truly knew her. So this is her memoir centering on the loss of her mother to cancer when she was still a small child. Secret Daughter by Shipley Somaya Gwoda. It's a story of Kavita, a poor mother living in India, who decides to give her newborn daughter away. And Summer, a married physician living in San Francisco, who adopts Kavita's baby. Like Kay, Kavita makes a sacrifice to ensure her child has the best future. So we've got a lot. I mean, there's a ton more in here. You know what? There was something else I wanted to talk to you. There's Interconnected Stories, Dubliners by James Joyce. Let's see. There's another one. There's a whole bunch, but there was one I really wanted to talk to you all about. Oh, well, let's do some time travel. Hold on. Let me go to the next slide. I get excited, and then I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something else. Okay, here we go. So if you like the time travel aspects of the book, then you probably want to check out Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. Groundhog Day meets about a time in this diverse YA debut novel about the choices we make, the people we choose, and the moments that make a life worth reliving. That sounds interesting. Okay, let's do one last one because my time is almost running out. Books in translation. Y'all, that sounds like really just reading books that have been translated. Because if they did not translate Before the Coffee Gets Cold, we would not be able to read this awesome book. I love this book, and I'm so glad that somebody decided to translate it so I can read it and talk to all of y'all about it. Let's see. Oh, Sayaka Murata did Earthling. She did that one book, Convenience Store Woman. That was really good too. And then Meiko Kawamaka. Wait, hang on. Kawakami. Excuse me, Maiko. Sorry, Maiko Kawakami. The book is called Breast and Eggs. It recounts the intimate journeys of three women on the path to finding peace and futures they can call their own. All right. You know what? We're going to do one last one because, Chad, I love me some Gloria Naylor. Gloria Naylor, if you liked the cafe as a character because I do think Funicula was a key character in this book, then you might like this book by Gloria Naylor. It's called Bailey's Cafe. It's set in a diner where the food isn't very good and the ambiance veers between heaven and hell. And if y'all don't know, Gloria Naylor, she wrote The Women of Brewster's Place. That was a play as well. Wonderful play. Wonderful stories about 6 different Black American women and what they were doing to survive and thrive in Chicago. So if you liked the cafe aspect, you definitely want to check out Bailey's Cafe. One last one, we'll talk about the Summer at the Garden Cafe by Felicity Hayes McCoy. If y'all been with me, some of my ride or die people, y'all will know that Felicity Hayes McCoy did that book, The Library at the Edge of the World. And that was the very first book that we ever had on Lovely from the library. That kicked the whole live stream off. So that's really exciting because I like to brag about this because I'm really proud of it. But Lovely from the Library was the first online digital book club that the library had. The first streaming before we was even streaming before COVID. I did that. All right. So if y'all want to hang out with me again next month, let's talk about the book that we're going to be reading next month. We're going to be reading Ophi's Ghost by Justina Ireland. Oh, I have to hold it that way because I don't have a slide for this. But Ophi's Ghost by Justina Ireland. Some of y'all might remember her as Justina Ireland from other book clubs. We've read her Death. What was it called? Death of a Nation. Death Divides Us. We read her zombie book in the book club. Dang it, I'm trying to remember. It was so good too, and I can't remember the title properly. Birth and Death. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But anywho, so that's the book we're reading next month. It's called Ophi's Ghost. It's by Justina Ireland. Let me read you a brief synopsis, okay? Ophelia Harrison used to live in a small house in the Georgia countryside, but that was before the night in November 1922 and the cruel act that took her home away from her. Now, I'm skipping some stuff because I hate it when the book be giving spoilers. It's a small spoiler, but no, it still mess it up for you. So there's a spoiler in there. I'm not doing that. Anyway, now Ophi lives in Pittsburgh with relatives that she barely knows. In the hopes of earning enough money to get her own place, Ophi and her has gotten a job as a maid in the old manor house where her mama works. Daffodil Manor, like the wealthy Carruthers family who owns it, is haunted by memories and prejudices of the past. And as Ophi discovers, ghosts as well. Ghosts who have their own loves and hatreds and desires. Ghosts who have wronged others and ghosts who have themselves been wronged. And as Ophi forms a friendship with one spirit whose life ended suddenly and unjustly, she wonders if she might be able to help, even as she comes to realize that Daffodil Manor may hold more secrets than she bargained for. This book is so good, y'all. It's available as an audiobook and an ebook. No, not an ebook. I think it's just an e-audiobook. We have like several of these in print. Dread Nation. That's what she wrote. I remember. I knew it. She wrote the book Dread Nation. That book is wonderful. It is a junior book, but we discuss a lot of adult themes. I picked that book specifically just because I love Justina Ireland, but also there's some hoodoo in there, and y'all know how much I like to talk about my granny them, who are all hoodoo practitioners. And it also discusses the Great Migration period in American history, where a lot of Black Americans were relocating from the South to the North for job opportunities and more freedom and whatnot. I think it's a really good way to discuss Black history without focusing so much on the struggle, because I think that happens a lot when we do Black history. It's always struggles. Oh, woe is me. And granted, we had some stuff that did happen to us, and I'm not one of those people who never wants to talk about it. I just want us to tell more of our story, richer parts of our story. I don't want us to only celebrate the struggle, because that's not what being Black means to me. It's wonderful being Black. And lifetime after lifetime, I'm going to come back and I'm going to still be Black. It'll be way better, though, without all the discrimination. So that's why we're not going to always just focus on that. Not in this book club. You're going to have to go somewhere else for that. Anywho, speaking of good things coming up, Um, Next month, besides the wonderful, awesome book club that you need to sign up for, click that comment so you can join the newsletter. Click the comment and each of the platforms, join the newsletter so you can get all this information. We're also going to be doing a Valentine's adult craft. You have to register for it, and it's going to be live streamed on February the 10th. Let me look in here and see exactly what it is. Yeah, we have the newsletter, the library newsletter out, so you can go online or stop by and pick one up. Let's see what we got here. It's on the 10th. Here we go. Oh, you're making Valentine's Day card, and y'all know how much fun y'all have when y'all be doing crafts with Rachel. It's so awesome when y'all have crafts when you're able to come here, because then everybody comes upstairs and they show me, look, lovely, look what I made. It's like a little show and tell for me. So don't miss out. Sign up so you can get you an adult craft. Depending on where we are with allowing live programs or not, that you'll either watch it live or you'll be able to come in live. We won't know until we get the information if we're going to go back to live programming or not. So keep your eye out for that. The other thing that we have is, excuse me, it's hard to cough in a respirator mask. Excuse me. On February the 3rd, we're going to have a live screening of a point of view film. It's called Whose Streets. It's for 18 and up. It's a documentary. And I don't know what it's about, but it looks like, well, I see black people in here, so I'm assuming it must be a documentary. Oh, it's Damon Davis and Saba Foylan. I don't know what it's about. I can't tell. The picture's in black and white. It looks like it might be about Black Lives Matter. I can see those signs. So the pictures are in black and white. So it's not civil rights stuff. It's current. So stop by and find out what that's all about too. We'd love to have you. We're always happy to see you. I think that is roughly it. Did I get everything? I think so. This has been so much fun. I'm so happy that we're doing this again. Don't be strangers. Interact with the Facebook page. I know I keep saying this, but please sign up because I'm going to be putting out the newsletter the first week of February, and I don't want y'all to miss out. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have so many different recommendations, so please interact with the Lovely from the Library Facebook page, because I'm going to be doing a lot of posts on different movies that we have in Canva, different books you can check out, highlighting the different programs across the district. Because everybody, I know Lamb is the best library in the whole district, but everybody else is amazing too. And they have a whole bunch of fun, amazing projects as well. Actually, we're doing adult winter reading. So we're doing our adult reading program, but doing it winter. And so we have a whole discover cozy wintertime stories. I'm sorry that you can't see this, but if you go online, you'll have all the information for all the amazing things that everybody at their branches are doing. But you got to come by Lamb if you want to see me, okay? All right. I'll see y'all next time. Bye. I'm smiling. You can't see it, but I'm smiling. Bye, y'all.